Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Cardano and its native token ADA and the fact that it's actually holding up relatively strong. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Remember to go stake your ADA with the ADABTC stake pool if you want to earn rewards on your ADA. Let's go ahead and jump in. So you might say, well, Ben, ADA is not really holding up that strong right now. It's at $1.58, and wasn't it trading for about $2.49 just a few days ago? You would be correct. But if we take a step back, okay, first of all, compared to the market, look at the last 7 days. Over the last 7 days, Bitcoin is down 22%. Ethereum is down about 35%. ADA is down about 5%. Okay, so yes, ADA has pulled back, but technically speaking, we're only about 5% lower than where we were a week ago. And in fact, the valuation of $1.57 wasn't even seen for the first time ever until the week of May 3rd. So ADA had never even been at this valuation in its life until early May. So I would say ADA is actually holding up relatively strong so far. We've discussed the idea that you might see 60% drops during a bull market, and I think it's fairly evident that we got that. I mean, we got about a 63% drop or so. The reason we speculate that these types of drops can happen is because we've mainly seen it happen with Ethereum. Okay, we've seen it happen with Ethereum before, and when we look at these cycles, we like to use data from cryptocurrencies that experienced the entire last cycle to get an idea of what's possible. And so we have seen drops like that before, and we were able to come out the other side. So if you look at ADA today, while it might not seem like a 60% correction, because a lot of people look at $1.58 and say, we weren't even trading at that level 4 weeks ago. Technically speaking, from the top, we just had a wick down to about a 63 or 64% correction level. Now, if you were very fortunate to scoop some ADA up on this wick, you're probably feeling pretty good about yourself right now. And maybe you should be, because that would have been a pretty decent price, especially given the current valuations. Let's see where the bull market support band is. You can see we had a wick past it, but if we were to just give an update on where it currently is, it now ranges from $1.08 to $1.13. So we're not even that far above it anymore. Just a few days ago, we were approximately 60% above it. Given the recent correction and the fact that the 20-week SMA has continued to move up some, now we're only about 30% above it. And in fact, earlier we had a wick that took us below the 20-week moving average. With the stake pools, I was watching to see how people might react. And actually, the number of ADA in my stake pool went up by about 1.5 million ADA. So remarkably, despite this pretty big correction, it seems like a lot of people just loaded up. I mean, this is what it seems like to me. Obviously, some people were selling. Clearly, some people were selling. But I imagine a lot of the people selling maybe were not necessarily the ones staking their ADA. Now, I'm sure some were. But when I look at like a stake pool and I see, another 1.5 million ADA come into the stake pool on the same couple days that we see a 60% correction, it makes me think that, okay, there are people here, they're in it for the long haul, and they're not necessarily going to be phased by these modest 60% corrections, even though they can sting a bit. Now, if you look at the ADA Bitcoin valuation, it seems like we're just sort of slowly stepping up. Does it not? I mean, sort of feels that way to me. Our first step here that took us to about 1,500, 1,600 Satoshis. This one that took us to about 3,000 Satoshis. So far, this one took us to around 5,000 Satoshis. It's about 1,500 to 3,000 to 5,000. And you can see that, the time between these steps, this one was about 231 days, and then this one was approximately 84 days. We have come back down significantly, which would be expected given Bitcoin's correction. We've often contended that if Bitcoin is dumping, it's going to be hard for ADA to continue to perform as well. We did a video on that a few days ago. So we fully recognize that if Bitcoin is having a fairly significant drop, then the valuation of ADA will likely bleed against the US dollar. But there's also a decent chance that bleeds against Bitcoin, which is, this is what we're seeing so far. Of course, things are subject to turn around, but so far you can see that not only is ADA dropping against Bitcoin, but that in fact the Bitcoin dominance is going up, meaning it's going up with respect to the entire asset class, not just ADA. With respect to Ethereum, ADA is doing fairly well. It's doing fairly well. You can see it's actually holding steady over here the last few days. So while the valuation of ADA ETH has pulled back slightly over the last 4 days, it's still significantly above where it was just about a week ago. And from about a week ago, ADA ETH is still up approximately 52%. So what that shows is that so far, ADA has bled by about the same amount as Ethereum, because we know that Ether USD is bleeding. So in the short term, ADA is basically bleeding at the same rate as Ethereum is. But what's impressive is that this was preceded by a rally of the ADA Ether valuation. So not only did ADA rally against the dollar, it rallied against Ether. And during the correction, it's giving up about the same amount of ground that Ether's giving up against the US dollar. Therefore, it's maintaining this level rather than dumping back down, which I personally think is fairly impressive. So again, I think for the duration of the cycle, ADA is a really great hedge for sure. It's up the current price is $1.57 or so close to $1.60. We're up about 80x from the market cycle bottom, and I do think that over the duration of the cycle, we will trend ultimately much higher. But we know that there's going to be shakeouts, and after some of these Ethereum shakeouts that were pretty significant, we saw some consolidation phases that followed suit. So with ADA, again, sometimes the best thing you can do is just be patient and try to look at the crypto asset class as a whole and realize that in the grand scheme of the cycle, it would appear that time is on our side and that there are going to be corrections along the way, and we sort of just have to get through them whenever they come. So if you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Remember to stake your ADA with the ITC stake pool. Thank you guys for tuning in. Check out the premium list. You can find a link to the sale in the description below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.